Somehow, against all the odds, the McLaren drivers' title challenges are falling apart right in front of their eyes. What's worse for the pair is that they looked absolutely powerless to stop Max Verstappen at the Circuit of the Americas, where he dominated every session to take a maximum of 33 points. Max now sits just 26 points behind Norris and 40 points behind Piastri, and a look at his form over the past 5 races tells us that he's coming for the McLaren pair. What's worse is that the looming threat of Max just got larger after Helmut Marko warned that there's more to come for the Red Bull driver. Today, I'll check out what Marko is on about and why the title might already be over for Oscar Piastri, so don't go anywhere. The McLaren drivers are currently facing down a charging bull. Verstappen has been shown red, and like the rookie matadors they are, no one's quite sure whether Piastri and Norris will be able to get out of the way or be gouged by the horns of the bull. To be fair to both of them, they weren't expecting to be thrown into the ring just yet. This season, they were expecting to be fighting each other. The inter-team battle for the title at McLaren was more like a pillow fight than a bullfight. McLaren had wrapped them in padding, given them both foam swords, and said that if they don't play nice, they wouldn't be allowed any ice cream on the way home. They weren't prepared for what Verstappen is bringing to this title fight, and it shows. On track, the two have looked helpless in the fight against the massively improved Red Bull car. Sadly for them, McLaren didn't even consider the possibility of Red Bull improving their performance to the point that Verstappen could actually challenge them. You can understand why though. McLaren had been dominant for most of the season, and according to Laurent Mekies, even Red Bull didn't expect to make quite such a big step around the summer break. Mekies took charge of the team after the British Grand Prix in July. At his second race in charge, Max Verstappen struggled to a 9th place finish at the Hungaroring, as Red Bull continued to struggle with their RB21. However, the team made a breakthrough with their car soon afterwards. In the 6 races since then, Verstappen has scored 4 wins, 1 in a sprint race, and 2 second places, which has propelled him back into serious contention in the Drivers' Championship. Mekies admitted the change in the team's form has come as a surprise to them. Everyone has been. I'm not gonna lie, we have said it. Certainly for the people working here, it's something nobody was expecting, he said on Friday. The change that has been made, I did not expect it. They didn't expect it. It was certainly, for them, probably very difficult to digest and to figure out. Mekies said credit for the team's breakthrough should first go to the engineering team. It's important to underline that the turnaround is due to the women and men in Milton Keynes that have been, as we've said several times, working on this car, not accepting the limitations of the project, trying to find solutions, not giving up, and balancing 2025 and 2026, he said. That's a very large group that is led by Pierre, that has managed to turn it around after weeks and months of effort. Sometimes you make these efforts and you don't get the reward on track. In this case, after so many attempts, it's been positive to see that the car was reacting and that we could give something that our drivers could perform better with. That engineering team at Red Bull have performed incredibly well over the second half of this season, and the results are obvious on track. Mekies said that his team wasn't expecting the turnaround, but the big problem for McLaren is that they weren't either. The Papaya team principal, Andrea Stella, has confirmed that there will be no new parts coming to their car, so Piastri and Norris are going to have to work with what they have, which, at the moment, doesn't seem enough. After the United States Grand Prix, Red Bull Motorsport advisor Helmut Marko couldn't resist a chance to take a dig at McLaren for their poor performance. It's now clear that McLaren no longer has the same ease. Piastri has had a bit of a tough time today too. I hope it stays that way. The Mexican Grand Prix is the next stop as the 2025 F1 season counts down to Abu Dhabi. Rain is expected in Mexico City, something that Marko is particularly pleased about. That means absolute Verstappen time. At the same time, he announced that there is more coming to the RB21. We still have something up our sleeve. I don't know exactly when it will arrive, Marko says. McLaren may have dominated the Constructors' Championship, taking the prize money with them, but the real prestige in Formula One comes from the driver's title, and the team turning their attention to 2026 too soon might be about to cost both of their drivers. McLaren's dip in form seems to be taking a particularly large toll on Oscar Piastri, But before I talk about that, if you're enjoying the video and want to catch all the news and analysis as this F1 season heads towards its thrilling climax, then make sure to press the like button and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. Oscar Piastri has been so cool, calm and collected this season as he's established his championship lead. Even when Lando Norris ran into the back of him at the Canadian Grand Prix, the young Australian driver didn't let it faze him. However, since Monza, that ice cool has started to melt. After McLaren used team orders to get the two to swap positions after a slow pit stop at the Italian Grand Prix, Piastri had a terrible weekend at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, was then outperformed by his teammate in Singapore, and then made a massive mistake in the sprint race last weekend to take himself and his teammate out of Saturday's race before qualifying poorly for Sunday's feature race. Challenging for his first ever F1 title, he looks like a different driver to the one who's been on top of his game all season. Jenson Button now believes that Lando Norris has shown more confidence over recent races as he closes the gap to his McLaren teammate. Speaking ahead of the United States Grand Prix, the 2009 Formula One champion explained that if Norris could come out on top at the Circuit of the Americas, then he would go into the remaining 5 race weekends of the season with a lot of confidence, and that is exactly what happened. I think so. He seems very positive in the last couple of races. Obviously, the incident in Singapore wasn't good. You never want to touch your teammate in a racing scenario. He seems confident in himself, and from the word go, he's had 3 attempts on Oscar, and it's continued throughout the whole of the weekend, he explained to Sky Sports F1. In addition to the potential confidence boost for the British driver, Button noted the mentally challenging position Piastri is in. If he's able to come out on top here, it's a lot of confidence going into the rest of the season, and it's more difficult then for Oscar as well. You guys go in completely different directions, so the confidence is with Lando, and the negativity is more with Oscar, which we never thought would happen with Oscar. But it happens. We're all human. It's sport. Mentally, this sport is so tough. With 5 race weekends left this season, Oscar is under pressure. There are also 2 sprint races thrown into the mix in Brazil and Qatar, which will offer Norris and Verstappen more chances to gain points on the championship leader. Over the last 5 race weekends, which included 1 sprint, Verstappen has gained 57 points on Piastri. With 5 Grand Prix and 2 sprints remaining, Piastri's 40-point buffer to Max doesn't look very big. Norris has also gained 20 points on Piastri in the same time, and if that form is repeated over the final 5 races, then Piastri will finish below both his title rivals. Of course, anything could happen yet. A wet weekend in Mexico could be a chance for Oscar to fight back. In Australia, at the opening race of the season, he showed some impressive pace compared to his teammate in wet conditions. He was so threatening actually that McLaren had to hold him back and told him to not try to pass Norris in one of the most controversial uses of papaya rules this season. Whatever ends up happening, Piastri will bounce back. He's young, he has a great manager in Mark Webber, and he has shown that he has the mentality to succeed in Formula One. If he doesn't take the driver's title this season, it will be a painful loss, considering he's led the championship since round 5 of the season. But he's shown his quality this year, and there should be no doubt that he will be a top driver in Formula One for many seasons to come. Are you as surprised as Mekis and McLaren with the comeback that Red Bull are putting on? And do you think Piastri is struggling with the pressure now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.